Craig, we'll just look back at the game, I suppose, at the weekend. Very poor from Ulster. What were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, it was hard to watch. I actually thought with the shackles off and the playoffs already decided that they might have a bit of freedom and put in a performance, but obviously Edinburgh at home had a lot to play for to still qualify. They have qualified now. A couple of guys begrudged with the line selections maybe, Darcy Gray in particular scoring a hat-trick, so super performance from Edinburgh, and yeah, it was disappointing, you know, as a fan now. It was sad to see a poor end to a season, that one that you want to forget, really.
Yeah, how difficult is it to finish on that sour note, really, for the players?
It's tough. I mean, for me personally, I always wanted to right a wrong, I suppose, and you got that opportunity maybe the next week. If you played poorly or didn't play as well as you wanted to, you're like, right, next week I'm going to make up for it. You know, I want to play well, because that really, as a professional rugby player, that sort of dictates your life. Unfortunately, fortunately, and you're always, I suppose, happiest. Well, I was anyway when things were going well and we were winning and I was playing well. So now, if you're not going on that summer tour to Tbilisi or Portugal, it's 6 weeks to sort of think about you know, the season that's come and gone. And I suppose the only positive really is to try and work on areas where you can be better and take that into the pre-season and then into next season.
Where do you think it has gone wrong for Ulster this season?
Well, it's a number of things. I think there's still a little bit of culture left over from the previous regime. I think that's still lingering. I think next season will be a clean slate for Richie with his coaching ticket and all his backroom staff. Obviously, financially, it's tough. You know, you need money. It's a business. You need the money to sign the players you want to sign, and by that I don't mean a lot of players. Ulster fans want to see Ulster players on the pitch, but certainly you can avail of 2 or 3 marquee signings. You know, like the John Afoas, the Ruan Pinars, the Johan Mullers, the Jared Paynes, but they are expensive. So you need to have your finances there, and I certainly think that the team that's been brought in off the pitch and the job Hugh McCackey's doing, I think certainly going in the right direction, and I know that they're always coming up with new ideas, trying to market the place and generate more revenue.
When you say a bit of a hangover from the previous regime, can you expand a bit on that as to what you think is still lingering?
I felt like in my last couple of seasons, it was probably, there was a lot of micromanaging. There was no real freedom to let the players express themselves. Each player will bring something unique in themselves, and if it's a sort of dictatorship style team where it's, you know, it's this way or the highway, I don't think that's going to work. And when that's embedded, it's not going to go overnight. And I know it's been a season and a half now, but I do think it takes a while for that to leave, and for that environment to be, I don't want to say, you know, safe. I'm not talking like as a play group here, but certainly an environment where you can get the best out of the players and they can bring onto the pitch what they're good at. And that's what I mean by, I think next season is where Richie will be judged. And you know, I'm a big fan of Richie, but there has been a lot of stuff happening off the pitch as well, and he's come into a difficult situation, and I think he should be given a bit of a bye ball this last season and a half. But certainly next season, the Ulster fans won't want to hear any excuses. Own backroom staff and clean slate and hit the ground running.
Do you feel with that in mind that confidence has been affected? Because we've seen numerous times this season when we've had a strong team on the team sheet, and you think, oh, okay, you know, we should be okay this weekend. We've got the big hitters back or whatever, and then you watch it and you go, they're not getting the basics right here.
Yeah, I think there is a wee bit of a lack of confidence. You know, if you're winning week in, week out, and you know, at the start of the season, and you're building that, and you know, we know where we're at. We've beaten A, B, and C, and a little bit of an arrogance. You know, you need a little bit of an arrogance about a team. It just doesn't seem to be there at the minute. But one thing I would say is, like, the guys are trying. I would not. I totally do not agree when I see these comments, you know, in the papers or online, that, you know, the guys don't care. It's just completely untrue. It's ludicrous. You know, these guys are training 6-7 times a week. It's a lifestyle. It's not just a job. You know, sometimes, you know, when things aren't going well, you take that home with you. You know, it's not like a day job where you can really just switch off. So I know they're trying, and I know they're hurting. So I don't accept that from people having been there. But I do think a few things just need to change. A few things need to click for us to see Ulster do a lot better, because it's a small margins, and I don't think they're too far off. You know, there has been some good performances this season. I think just tactically as a coaching group, and I think Mark Sexton will be brilliant for this. They just need to certainly focus on that second half and the latter stages of the game to close the game out and just get the win. You know, because there has been some great performances, notably Exeter at home, Connacht away. Stormers at home was brilliant, and then Sharks at home, like a star-studded Sharks team. I think it was maybe 19-7 at half time, and you know, they just came out of the sheds at half time and completely let them in. I was there, and I was just thinking, you know, this you can't do this in this league in an away game, let alone at home in front of your local fans.
Absolutely. You talk about the hard work from the players, and they do own up to it. I talk to them week in, week out, and they say themselves, it's not good enough. You know, they know it's not good enough at Ulster to be finishing that low down in the league, you know, third from bottom, and not qualifying for the Champions Cup for the first time in the history of the competition. Yeah,
it's sad. You know, from a selfish point of view, I'm glad that I wasn't there to experience that. And it was always European rugby, you know, playing European giants every season, and halfway through this season I would have said no, Ulster should still compete in, you know, top tier European rugby. But towards the end, I'm thinking to myself, you know, maybe it's probably better to save a little bit of face, and in this period of rebuilding, because we're going to have to start blood new younger players. Maybe the Challenge Cup, it won't be such a bad thing, and just use next season as Richie's proper first year with his own coaching ticket, and build on that.
You mentioned Mark Sexton. What do you feel he will bring to Ulster? Well,
I saw what he did with Connacht. Well, firstly with the under-20s, and then with Connacht, and I thought, like his brother, he's got a brilliant rugby mind. And what he did with Connacht was he didn't completely restructure it, but it's just the little things, like the finer detail in the way that forward pod that all teams use works with their backs, and you know, he sorry, I'll start that one again.
That's okay.
Just going off on one there.
That's okay. Just what do you feel Mark Sexton will bring to Ulster?
I think he'll bring a lot of expertise. He did very well with the under-20s, Grand Slams there. Did well with Connacht as well. I remember seeing a notable difference with Connacht in their attack shape. Now they use the forward pod that all teams use alongside their backs. Not massively changing things, but just little subtle differences. And I hope he brings that to Ulster as well, because it just needs a little bit of tidying up. And you know, no doubt his brother is only a text away if he needs a few pointers.
Definitely. And for yourself, Craig, you're heading off to the Lions this summer. Tell us a wee bit about that.
Yes, I'm going on a less exciting Lions tour. to Australia. It's called the Lions Legends. And it's a group of ex-internationals. It's a star-studded team sheet. Actually, I'm not sure I made the cut, but I'm really looking forward to that. We're going to the two tests. We're going to test in Sydney and Melbourne. You know, there's golf days booked. There's speaking events. Tommy Seymour, my good friend and old housemate, is going, so I hope I'm room with him. And I'm really looking forward to it. You know, because it's not like a whole season of rugby I have to worry about anymore. Keep myself in tip-top shape. It's something that will be a bit of fun, but we'll also get to lace up the boots and have a crack at the Wallabies Legends.
Definitely. And how do you see the Lions doing out there against Joe Schmidt's team, obviously, as well? Andy Farrell against Joe Schmidt is an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, but Joe Schmidt he's a fantastic coach. He's a genius. If you look where the Wallabies were 2-3 years ago to where he's brought them up to now, I thought they did fantastically well in the autumn series. It's going to be tough. But Andy Farrell on the other side, he's a guy you would you'd throw yourself in front of a bus for him. You would really play for him, and the Lions squad that he's selected looks really, really well. Obviously, there's probably one or two little surprises in there, but he's selected a fantastic squad, and I think they'll do the job. I would say they'd be the firm favourites.
Brilliant. Well, enjoy your time. We look
Thanks.
forward to following your results as well as the real Lions.